Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Reed, and welcome to Storytime. Today we are going to be reading some Choosing Beggars stories, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. So let me tell you about a woman that demanded to be paid for getting a free ride because there was a girl with cancer in the car. Backstory: this happened when I was studying at a university and living with my parents. Our village is located roughly an hour drive from a big city where most of our neighborhood work, including my mom, her nice friend in the IT department, and the choosing beggar, all employed by the same firm. There is a train to the city in the neighboring village, but it's half an hour walk, so my mother would generally drive to work and I'd tag along whenever our schedules allowed it. Around 2 months before the story takes place, the choosing beggar realized she could ride to work and back home with my mom, and my mother being a generous person, she agreed to demanding no payment, and it wasn't any major inconvenience for her, and she was aware the choosing beggar was doing a low-salary job and had young kids at home. The nice IT friend, let's call her Anne, who was always taking a train home, asked my mother a few days beforehand if she and her daughter could ride home with her on Friday, as her daughter was going to be released from just a routine checkup at the hospital in the city. She also offered to take an early leave so that they'd be by the car ready, but my mom said they'd just go to the hospital together as it's only a 10-minute detour. Come Friday, and surprisingly, I finish my classes early and message my mom if I can tag along. My mom says yes, but at the same time explains quickly Anne's situation about the car and it will be packed. No problem for me. 5 minutes to 5, I arrive at the parking lot and see the choosing beggar waiting already. This woman must never work till the end of the shift. She sees me and gets visibly annoyed, saying something along the lines of, "Oh, and now this car is going to become a public bus for annoying teenagers?" I was in my 20s and rather quiet in the car. I pretend I heard nothing and just wait patiently. 10 minutes later, my mom arrives with Anne and we drive towards the hospital. The checkout must have been busy as we wait at the door for 20 minutes, but it's fine with me and mom as it's a special situation, and the choosing beggar rants about waiting all the time too much and it's annoying. Anne finally shows up and we quickly realize that it was by no means just a checkup. Anne's daughter looks very frail and thin, white-faced, bald head covered with a scarf, barely holding up, clearly just released from chemotherapy. I immediately get off the front seat and go out to grab the daughter's luggage from Anne to place in the trunk and let her take the front, as I don't feel comfortable having her crammed up in the back. Choosing beggar is a rather large woman. Not like that's anything bad, but there was hardly any room in the back with her and Anne in my mom's city car. Anne quietly thanks me and we roll back home in relative silence as the daughter fell asleep immediately. We go to Anne's home first, just on the way, and they start leaving quickly. Anne's daughter throws up the moment she wakes up, getting some puke on the car and quickly starts apologizing. We say we don't mind, and there it starts. Anne takes out her wallet and gets a bill that they'd exchange for around $60 and insist on paying my mom for both the ride and cleaning the car, which my mom quickly declines. However, at the same moment, choosing beggar reaches for the money. For a moment, everything is silent, and then the conversation goes like this. "I'll be taking this? On what grounds?" "Well, we had to take this huge detour and I'll be like 40 minutes late at home." "Well, you would be even later if you had to take the train. It's none of your concern." "I don't take any trains home. I always ride this car and I'm just being late. This car has been ruined by Anne's daughter. It's not even your car and we don't mind." "I take it every day, so it's mine as well." "BS, it's my mom's car and she decides what to do with it." "Anyways, the daughter puked here in my close proximity. I'm surely entitled to some damages." "Anne." "No, it's all right. I'm so sorry." She grabs the $60, puts it in my mother's handbag, and proceeds to take another banknote, around $25, and hands it to choosing beggar, who quickly pockets the money. "Heck, Annie, you shouldn't have given her a thing. She takes a ride with my mom daily and pays us nothing." "Oh, I thought she's paying for the fuel." "As she should." "It doesn't matter. I take this car every day and now I'm covered in some sick girl's vomit. What if my kids catch what she's sick with? Puke got nowhere near her." Daughter shouts in a very rasp voice, "I have a brain tumor. It's not contagious." That somehow managed to shut the choosing beggar up. My mom got out, took the daughter's luggage, and walked Anne and her daughter home, slipping the banknote she was given into their mailbox on her way back. She says nothing and drives straight to choosing beggar's home. She'd normally leave her at the crossroad nearby and speaks for the first time in a while. I was driving you because it wasn't inconvenient for me, but it just became a large inconvenience. This partnership is done. I don't care if you take the train from now on, get your own car, or just quit your job. I will not be driving you anywhere unless you or your kids are dying. The $25 you were given for no reason should be enough for a week's worth of train tickets anyways, so enjoy. This car is mine and mine only, so get out now. After that, I hardly saw the choosing beggar at all. Hopefully she never comes back into the picture, and my mom drives to work with Anne now, who, even if nobody asks her to, pays for the fuel. Anne's daughter is in remission now, so she's doing much better if you're curious. Have a good day, y'all. Sorry for the long post. I just had to tell the story to more people. And sorry if the English is not perfect. I'm not a native speaker. Oh man. Is this true? Are there people like this in the world? I really don't understand. Oblivious to the daughter clearly having chemotherapy, oblivious to the fact that you can't just take people's money like that, and I don't know. Just no dignity at all. This is crazy. The extra customers that go out to eat. This happened a few years back when I worked as a server at a restaurant. There was this older couple that would come in every weekend. They ordered a small Greek salad with extra tomatoes and extra cucumbers. We don't charge extra for adding in an extra topping or two. No big deal. I brought it out with 2 sharing plates and a basket of bread. Then they asked, can we also get extra onions and extra lettuce? Oh, and some extra olives too. Annoying, but okay. So I got a plate and slapped on some extra fixings from the food prep guys in the back. They then complained that it wasn't extra enough. They did that a few more times until my boss finally had enough of it and told the entire staff extra toppings are now $1 each. If they ask for extras of every topping again, just give them a large salad instead. Mind you, the small salad was $10 and the large was like $12.50. The large salad was only $2.50 more, and you got more than double the portion of the small. So as expected, they came in again the following weekend and spit out the usual order. Small Greek salad with extra tomatoes, extra cucumbers, extra onions, extra olives, and extra lettuce. I said, I'm sorry, I can't do that. If you want extra of everything, you'll just have to order the large size. They protested with me, and I said, you're essentially doubling the size of the salad, which is what the large is. So if you want extras of everything, you will have to get the large. They asked to speak to my manager. I gladly obliged and sent him over. It was so satisfying to watch my boss tell them that what they're asking for is basically a large salad, so they will be charged as such. They kept arguing with my boss, so my boss loudly said for the entire restaurant to hear, "You're really being that cheap over $2.50? Do you think the ingredients are free for me to buy?" So I went back to take their order and they said, "Okay, fine, we'll just get a small Greek salad, but only with extra tomatoes and extra cucumbers." They probably assumed that the 1 or 2 extra toppings would still be free, but nope, not anymore. So then I told them that each additional topping was $1 extra, so they might as well spend 50 cents more and just get a large salad. They never came back by again. Bye-bye. Honestly, OP, you should have just charged them an extra $1 for every extra they ordered the first time. That would have been the way to do it. My home is not here for your convenience. I hope this is the right place to post this. I raised 3 children on my own, with some help from my family during the roughest patches, like when the children's fathers split the state to avoid paying child support. I was not going to be one of those exes that depended on child support check, so I went back to college, got back up on my feet again, and we made it. We may not have always had what we wanted, but we sure as heck had what we needed. I bought my house 30 years ago, and I own it. I am now on disability with some crazy bone marrow condition that leaves me without enough blood and or platelets. I'm always tired or sick. My SS disability is not a lot, as I had been a stay-at-home mom for a number of years pre-divorce. But through sheer determination, I have learned to live on my disability income. I'm a simple girl. I don't own a car, which saves me a lot, but otherwise I have all I need. I'm also happy as a bug in a rug. My children are grown and doing well, and I have my home all to myself and love it. During this time, I have had all kinds of people, family, friends, and acquaintances come to me and ask if they can stay with me. If someone needs a helping hand, I'm always willing to help. There have been a few that did what they needed and only stayed a few weeks. Most of the fools I dealt with, though, were looking to take over my home and or reap what I have sown, so to speak. One guy, whom I had dated occasionally, fell on hard times. He came walking up to my house one day, wanting to talk to me about something. I stepped outside with him and he starts. He pretty much says, "We get along fairly well, right? We have a lot in common," etc. He continues with, "Since I am alone in my house, and as it happened, he was alone, living in an abandoned travel trailer on some commercial property his parents owned, how about if he moves in with me and we split everything?" I was flabbergasted. I told him I would have to think about it and get back with him. No, I never gave it another thought. I had one couple come over one evening and, conveniently, their car breaks down and they need to stay over. Then some other reason pops up the next day as to why they can't leave. Couldn't get the part he needed or some crap. I eventually realized this was all for the purpose of establishing residence, so I would have to go through a time-consuming, legal, and expensive eviction process to get rid of them. I got rid of them. It wasn't pretty, but my children and I literally pushed this broke-down van off my property and dared him to set foot back on it. Our garden tools, particularly the shovel, served us well. Yet another woman, the mother of one of my son's friends, came to stay as she had literally been put out on the street at her last place. After struggling for a month to pay me anything, she decided she didn't have to pay me any rent. She supported me already. In her pea brain, she figured that since I was on disability, she thought she paid my income with her taxes, so she wouldn't have to give me a dime. No. I get disability in the form of monies I paid in all the years that I worked. Unless she was working with my social security number all those years, she was full of crap. She tried to assault me and I had her arrested. One guy called me up during one of his family's crises and said he needed a couch or some place to crash for a few days, and he and his mom were at blows and one of them would go to jail if the cops got called again. I told him I had no room, but I could offer a roof over his head. He would have to pay rent and provide his own food. A week later, his girlfriend shows up with her teenage son. She and her mom had a fight and she was coming to live with her boyfriend. It took me a couple of days that time as she had the kid, but I chased them off with a threat to call his probation officer on him. Yeah, fine, upstanding citizen. I've learned to keep my distance from the kind of people who seem to always be needy. I don't know what it was, but they came crawling out of the woodwork. I'm a nice, easygoing, laid-back person and people try to take advantage of me, I suppose. I earned my way and I'm going to enjoy it myself. Thank you very much. LOL. That's a lot of crazy people for one person to meet and let live in their home. OP, you are a nice person, but I'm glad you finally learned to stand your ground. Movie theater soda scam. My friend used to work at a movie theater and had hilarious stories of people trying to scam them, but this is one of my favorites. So my friend was working concessions and this guy came up and asked for a large popcorn and a cup for water. So he gives them one of those plastic cups and sees the guy go off and fill it with soda. He stops him and says, "I'm gonna have to take that away from you, that's only for water," and took the guy's cup away. The customer said, "But I bought the popcorn, shouldn't matter what I put in the cup. The machine is right there." My friend says, "Sorry, nah," and goes back to his desk. The guy goes into the theater and a little while later my friend sees him walking with his popcorn bucket over to the soda machine and filling it up. Filling the popcorn bucket up with soda. So my friend goes up to him and makes him dump it out. The guy complains that he just wasted that soda when he could have let him drink it and movie theaters charge too much for soda, blah blah blah. So my friend warns him that if he does it again, he is taking his popcorn bucket away. So I crap you not. About 10 minutes later, my friend looks up and sees the customer walking super slow back to the theater, holding the popcorn bucket with a straw sticking out of the top. My friend walks up and it's filled to the brim with Coke. The guy is spilling it everywhere as he is walking and spilled a ton by the machine. So they start to argue and the guy keeps going on about how the soda machines are out there and he shouldn't have to pay when he already spent a lot on the popcorn. Calls his manager over and they take the bucket away and tell him he has to leave. Like literally, he could have gotten away with it if he didn't fill it so freaking full. And who can drink a large bucket full of soda? Come on. Honestly, I kind of admire this guy's perseverance. You could have let him slide on that last one. Oh man, people are crazy. Alright, that's all the stories we have for today. If you liked what you heard, subscribe for more content because we're doing this shindig daily. In the meantime, Have the most amazing day. Goodbye.